to Brazil, one to Eastern Europe. I mean, so you've got all these corrupt politicians in there with that money. And then we had Obama. It came out even on mainstream news saying that only Democratic contributors can keep their dealerships. We're going to come back and talk about that.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
Alex told you the government announced recently that the recession is over. It ended on June of 2009. The millions of Americans unable to find work might not agree. Perhaps the recession ended for the bankers and government employees, but for the rest of us, things seem to be getting worse. Gold and silver haven't heard the news either. They've begun their long-expected journey to the moon. In addition to converting your shrinking dollars into gold and silver, you should consider a food savings account from eFoods Direct. They both make fabulous investments. Food is our greatest dependency, and we know it will be more precious than any financial resource. You and your family need food to survive a crisis, and you can't eat paper, stocks, or metals. Alex has been urging you to invest in delicious, easy-fix meals to enjoy now or save for long-term. This will freeze the cost of your food while you can still afford it. Visit efoodsdirect.com on the internet or call 800-409-5633. That's efoodsdirect.com or 800-409-5633.
We are on the march. The empire is on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Wow, this is amazing. We've got former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson in here. I've been a big fan of many of his policies and his true independence. And I just want to give you the website. It's Our America Initiative. This is Our American Initiative. Sorry about that. Our America Initiative.com. Gary Johnson, a former governor of New Mexico, is our guest. We're going right back to him. I want to talk about TSA, the police state. I want to talk to him about the MIAC report, demonizing patriots. We're going to talk about all that with him here in just a moment. But first, I wanted to tell you about acolablue.com. Look, folks, the tap water is filled with toxins, chlorine, fluoride, all this garbage. And there's a lot of great filters out there, and we have sponsors that promote them. But Acola Blue is special because it's an atmospheric water generator. It looks like a high-tech water cooler, like R2-D2 meets a water cooler, but no water bottle on top because it grabs the water out of the air. That's what clouds are. It's the purest, cleanest drinking water. Their most inexpensive unit has 7 filters and stores it in a stainless steel tank. Their bigger units have 12 filters. They've got them that can supply a division of an army. but they've got the smaller units that produce 7.5 gallons a day. It's ecolablue.com or 800-691-6043, 800-691-6043, ecolablue.com. Check them out today. And finally, there is a new video that we're promoting, because I've been sent a lot of these, but this one is really professionally produced, and it is backyardfoodproduction.com, and it's got how to grow. In fact, here it is right here. I was asking the guys for it, and they pointed out it's on my desk underneath a pad. Here it is for people that are watching us on television. Food production systems for a backyard or a small farm, DVD with a bonus resource CD. And this is vegetable gardens, water, rabbits, butchering, poultry, working dogs, perennials, orchards, food forest, essentials. This is the best DVD I've seen out there with the CD. Everything you need to know by experts so you don't repeat the mistakes of others. And the website, again, is backyardfoodproduction.com, an invaluable DVD. Because if you look at the Great Depression, 90% of people were supposedly self-sufficient and living on rural farms. Now, upwards of 90% or 89%, if you want to be technical, live in cities and are not self-sufficient. So getting back to liberty is all about backyard farms. So I hope you check out food production systems. Okay, going back to you, Governor, we were talking about the auto industry as we hit that break. What was your point about that?
Well, you know, recently we also heard that General Motors repaid part of their debt to the U.S. government. Well, that was an absolute shell game. They took equity that the U.S. government had actually put money into as opposed to debt, and took the equity and transferred it over into debt. So it was a complete shell game. My point simply is that the free market, if you allow the free market to work, which I would argue we're getting further and further away from the free market in this country, as opposed to embracing it. But if you'd let it work, why, we'd be better off.
How did you, in a liberal state, as you said, 2-1 Democrats, get elected in 94, reelected in 98 with a 55 to 45 margin? How did you do that?
I think that it was bottom line, good stewardship of tax dollars, period. Really, bottom line. What's the government spending? What are we getting for that money? I vetoed all those bills. I discussed and debated all those bills that I vetoed, front page of the newspaper, on television every single night, that, you know what, we just don't need to be spending, we don't need to be growing government.
So you communicated with your constituents?
That was part of the job. I enjoyed that part of the job. I enjoyed the debate.
I like somebody who's willing to get out there and talk to people, and I can tell you like to do it, or you wouldn't have been on tour for almost 11 months.
Well, right. And if I have a complaint or had a complaint with George W. Bush, it was, a lot of what he did was right. But if he'd have just engaged the debate and talked about it, we might actually have some needed reform that we don't have right now. And I'm talking about immigration reform that really, I think he had a handle on it. And privatization of Social Security, the notion of to be able to self-direct your own retirement funds. These are good ideas, but he just, the wind was blowing a little too hard after he launched them, and he backed away.
But now Obama has had congressional studies and others saying they want to take people's private retirements and tax them and have the government administer them. Bloomberg's reported on that. What's your take on that?
Well, I would be just the opposite. Look, be able to self-direct your funds from the time that you start paying into it. If I'd have been allowed to do that, I'd have 4 times as much money as I have right now.
Yeah, they've stolen the Social Security money.
Well, and it would be mine. I'd get to pass it down to my heirs.
Well, look at my grandmother. She worked from the time she was, 20 years old until she was 70-something, and she can't live on that Social Security with inflation. I mean, it is a joke. And now they've frozen the COLA.
Well, and it probably needs to be frozen, and getting it to be actuarially sound probably needs to be rolled back. Actually,
I mean, once they get it in that trouble, I understand that, but you talk about 3-4 times.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's the difference, Governor? If it was privately held, on average, most economists agree 3 to 4 times, maybe even more money. If it was conservatively invested, how do you pay in for 40 years? And get something that's 4 times less what you would have gotten?
Exactly.
Explain that to us.
Well, that's unexplainable. You can't explain it, but that's the Social Security system.
So why not then just freeze it for everybody that's retired, but start something new for everybody else? Because something that rips you off like that's no good.
Well, I think that's part of the plan that needs to happen going forward. I think there needs to be an option for even me today to be able to self-direct those funds. I would opt today to be able to self-direct 100% of those funds if I had that option, and then raising the retirement age. But these are the hard choices that have to be made right now. There's no kicking the can down the road anymore with regard to these issues. If we kick the can down the road anymore, I think we're on the verge of an imminent financial implosion.
Let's talk about that implosion. I think we're already in the implosion, and it didn't happen with a bang, but with a whimper. I mean, every major economic indicator, even the Cook numbers the Fed's put out, shows we're in a crisis.
Well, we're in a crisis, and what we've done right now because of this the easing right now that's taking place is, as everyone knows, you can't invest your money anywhere for a safe return. I mean, if you do that, the safe return is at best 2%.
Unless it's gold.
Well, or gold. But what we're creating a bubble. Well, so what we're doing collectively is we're putting more money into equities. And as a result of putting more money into equity,
food prices are going up.
Into the stock market. As a result of putting money into the stock market, we are creating an artificial bubble in the stock market right now. When does that come to a head? I don't know. But at some point, it's going to show itself also. There's going to be a huge sell-off in the stock market.
I agree with you there, but gold, if it's valued at $2,500 in 1980s inflation adjusted, I don't think gold hits its bubble till $2,500.
Well, and I've heard that if you took all the gold reserves in the world, divided it by the dollars that are out there, that would be the value of gold also, $2,500. Of course, we printed a lot more money now.
Yeah, that's a conservative number. And again, I'm no rocket scientist or economist. I just have them liberal, conservative, Joe Stiglitz, you name it on. They basically all say the same thing.
And as you point out with gold, commodities across the board have just... they're increasing.
Look at food.
Leaps and bounds. Prices are going up. Real inflation, those items that we come in contact with every day to be able to live, to be able to survive, they're going up dramatically. Inflation is increasing.
And by the way, I guess we're going to hit the trifecta here because I butchered this, and it's not my crew's fault. It is written right. It's americainitiative.com.
You've got it.
And it's a beautiful website, a lot of great ideas there. I hope folks will visit americainitiative.com. Now, let's get into the really hardcore issues. Before you came in here, and in the next hour, we're going back to the calls. They now, and I witnessed this 2 weeks ago in San Jose, flying back to Austin. I sat there drinking coffee after I went through the checkpoint because I kept thinking I'd see a man. Because they had four rows, Governor, and I went through the checkpoint. They broke down our cameras and equipment and asked us if they were bombs and all the rest of it, but they didn't put us to the naked body scanners. But I watched the 4 lines of naked body scanners, and I got a coffee and was watching, and I thought, okay, you're being paranoid. That's not just women and children being directed, and they were the minority of travelers. It was mainly people in business suits that Tuesday morning. So I got coffee, and I sat there for probably more than 20 minutes with Aaron, my camera guy, and there was never one man put through it. It was literal 2-3-year-olds in strollers being searched. I watched men put their hands between women's legs, and they lift up to make sure it's not a bomb. I watched this, and now they're saying, even if you go through a naked body scanner, we're also going to do enhanced pat-down, the land of the free, home of the brave. And then they say, I mean, let's buy into the official story that Muslims are doing all of this, radical Muslims, the vast minority. Let's just buy the official fable and buy into that for a second. Why don't they just profile then? Why are they coming after the American people? Why are they trying to get in our comfort zones? And now the TSA has announced they're going to have Viper teams. They're already out there on the streets doing this. Hundreds of federal, state courthouses, they're all putting in the naked body scanners. There was a lawsuit this year in Colorado about child porn laws being violated. It does, record their naked body. So they aren't scanning under 18s. They're just patting them down. But, I mean, I'd rather, supposed terrorist occasionally do something. I don't